So we got the sun and Sagittarius. See, the sun is what we paying attention to, how we are coming across, and of course, how we are dealing with our day-to-day actions. So our actions is predicated towards going above the horizons, going above the extremes. Now, also, the moon is in Cancer. So when the moon is in Cancer, that means we are reacting and responding to home, familiar places, and of course, spaces, feeling real good about something. But we're going to be feeling real good about expanding our experiences with something, whether it's a person, whether it's a place, or a thing. But of course, this put us into an extreme way of doing these things, an extreme perspective, because of course, sun is exalted in Cancer, aka the Sagittarius is exalted in Cancer. So the sun is going to exalt the moon, but of course, it's going to bring misunderstandings, which means this is going to be misunderstandings of safety, security, impulsive actions, and of course, reactions and responses. Almost to the point you could be basically getting too lost up into a chaotic situation. Also, we're going to basically get into the perspectives of how these are bringing influences to your houses. And of course, it's going to bring influences to your zodiac sign. Now, for instance, if you have Cancer in the first house, this is the ascendant. So you're going to be predicated towards loving, nurturing, and caring. And of course, the moon in Cancer wants you to basically pay attention to these areas. And of course, you're going to be in a situation of learning how to love, nurture, and care when it comes to your personality. There could be a whole lot of conflict with your personality. And of course, you pick up the mood swings of all vibrations on a deeper level. Almost to the point it can be very transformative, very life-threatening, and of course, death. So of course, what you basically need to do, you need to expand the way you care about yourself, your personalities, your personal belongings, and of course, how you cater towards things on a totality, especially if something that you're basically paying attention to or getting into cahoots with. You need to basically take care of that area, nurture that area, and of course, you'll be on the right spectrum. Also, we also can have Pluto and Capricorn. So basically, this is taking power and control over certain areas, and of course, protecting your seeds. And of course, when the moon was in the wax mode, it was also hitting Cancer. So when the new moon was in Scorpio, it actually went from Scorpio all the way around until it got right back into Taurus. So of course, right now, this is the time to basically be releasing and of course, protecting certain areas that was basically giving birth, whether it was a good seed or bad seed. Of course, all seeds got the ability to change. It could be good seeds, it could be bad seeds. It depends on how you take care of that seed. And that's how it play out. Also, if you have Cancer in the second house, see, the moon in Cancer wants you to value and care about like stability, building on something, and something that you're actually valuing. And of course, I want you to basically do this behind closed doors. I want you to care about these things. I want you to basically give attention to these things. I want you to basically relate to these things. I want you to compromise and of course get deeply with these areas too. So of course, if you can put yourself into that situation of valuing the right things and of course putting yourself into the right spectrum where you can basically have a totality, a huge aim on how you want to basically value that thing, you're going to be in the right spectrum. And of course, you're going to experience this when the moon makes its rotation back into your 8th house. And of course, that's how it's going to basically play out. Also, if you have Cancer in the 3rd house, Cancer wants you to basically put yourself into a situation of getting stable and caring and loving when it comes to your friends, things that you're associating yourself with. Of course, I want you to basically get deep with this, on this totality. Your environment, your surroundings, something in your surroundings, someone in your surroundings. Pay attention to these areas. These are the areas that need to be nurtured, cared, and of course, on a deeper level. So you need to take care of these areas. And of course, cater to these areas. Also, you can experience some changes in these areas too. Even though it plays out on the whole totality, but you can experience some changes in this area when it comes to friends or environments. Whether you're giving off these energies or receiving these energies, so be aware of these actually. Also, I want you to also communicate. Communicate with love. Nurture with love. Nurture with intellect. And of course, nurture with peace, binding standards. You're going to be at. Also, Cancer in the 4th house. Cancer wants you to love home, love your privacy, and care about your home and your family. And of course, I want you to basically get deep. There could be some trauma here in this area too, depending on how the situations play out. Trauma with past issues or past circumstances. Try to be more loving, nurturing, and caring, of course. Learn how to put yourself into that criteria of getting connected with home or familiar or getting comfortable in the situation. And you're gonna basically figure out if you did good when the moon transits into your 10th house. Also, if you have Cancer in the 5th house, see, Cancer wants you to care about your creativities, your talents, and of course things that you're entertaining. And they want you to basically express this. They want you to get basically lost into an illusion with your talents and basically care about these things. Because of course, when you care about these things, you'll be able to actually present it when it comes to the public, when the moon actually transits in your 11th house. So of course, caring about these things and of course protecting it is very important. So caring about what you are personally invested into, caring about your hobbies, caring about your talents, your alternative gifts, and of course, I want you to get real situated in this area. Also, in this house, there's going to be changes. So you're going to learn how to basically adapt to changes in this area too. So learn how to adapt to changes in this area, in this house, and you're going to be at. Now, Cancer in the 6th house. Now, Cancer wants you to act on opportunities when it comes to routines, health, and of course, taking care of these things and moderating with these things. Cancer wants you to basically act on opportunities in this house. They want you to take care of responsibilities when it comes to your duties. They want you to care about your duties. They want you to care about your health. They want you to care about your routine. They want you to basically get serious in this perspective. So, of course, getting serious and curious is highly important to you. And, of course, you can experience some good luck, some good faith. And I want you to expand. I want you to care and, of course, expand the way you're taking care of your responsibilities and, of course, your duties. And you're going to be at in the spectrum if you are basically taking care of it. You're going to see if you're planting a good seeds when the moon transits into your 12th house. Now, when we have Cancer in the 7th house, this is a learning process for you. So Cancer wants you to learn how to care, love, and nurture when it comes to relationships and relating to individuals, of course, spiking the balance. Also, you can experience some transformation into this area too. When it comes to relationships or relating to individuals. Cancer wants you to care about how you relate to people. It wants you to care about balance. It wants you to care about equilibrium. And of course, it wants you to care about fairness. And it's highly important that you basically learn how to do this. It's highly important for that. Now, Cancer in the 8th house. This is a situation where Cancer falls in this house. So that means it's sleep here. So that means you're going to have the gift to go to the extremes. You're going to have the gift to basically get more rooted towards how you're feeling about your ways of desires. See, in this situation, there's been a whole lot of deep, dark things that happen to you and your experiences or your life in general. So, of course, in this area, Cancer wants you to basically love and nurture and care about all the experiences. And of course, this is the house of the exaltation too. So that means things was extreme. It could have been a whole lot of separation when it comes to your experiences or experiences on things in general. Try not to put yourself into a situation of not caring about these things. Care about your feelings, care about your emotions, and of course, get deeply rooted into these areas, and of course, nurture these areas, and of course, you'll be out in the spectrum. Try not to think too much about the past or get too outcast about the past. For me, if you can basically move on from the past, not allow the past to basically judge your cloutment, you'll be out in this area, and you basically actually be able to transform anything that was basically fucking with you in the past. So of course, try not to get too lost into the past. Also, if you have Cancer in the 9th house, you have Cancer in the 9th house. Cancer wants you to put yourself into a situation of loving, nurturing, and of course, caring about all the experiences that you have. It wants you to care for your experiences. It wants you to expand your experiences. It wants you to not allow anything that's deeply rooting you or deeply obstructing you to stop you. It wants you to basically rise above. It wants you to be a Jesus Christ. It wants you to rise. And of course, it wants you to basically get in your solar plexus. And I want you to basically take a rise on how you feel about something and not put yourself into a situation of basically getting stagnated or rooted into one position or one area. I want you to basically have a totality. I want you to look at all spectrums. Of course, I want you to look at all angles. Of course, I want you to expand and move around. And of course, get around And of course, you would figure out if you know you did good when the moon transits into the third house when it comes to your surroundings and your environment. Now, if you have Cancer in the 10th house, Cancer is kind of like opposite here. So that means things is very cold, reserved, and restricted here in this area too. Cancer don't really like this house. Cancer want to feel comfortable and feel rooted. But Cancer also do want you to basically take care of your responsibilities. Care for your responsibilities, care for your status, care for your goals, care for your ambitions, and of course care about how you do things. See, there's been a whole lot of spectrums where it wants you to care about how you relate to your status, or care about how you basically bring your status into an equation. I want you to care about these things. I want you to care about your responsibilities. I want you to care about your work. And of course, I want you to basically spark your balance too. Try to learn how to spark balance in this area. You'll be out in this area. And when the moon transits into your 4th house, when it comes to your home and your family, you'll see if you're planting good seeds in this area. And you'll see things that you need to basically create a spark where the scales is weighed properly, and there won't be no situations where things just kind of turn all over. And the roller coaster doesn't go for a nicey coast. Also, if you have Cancer in the 11th house, Cancer wants you to basically pay attention to how you care about your associates or whatever you're associating yourself with. I want you to love these things. I want you to nurture these things. I want you to care for these things. Of course, I want you to care about your associations or how you dealing with individuals in your group. And of course, this is basically going to help you too. So when you whatever you're dreaming about, whatever you're trying to manifest when it comes to your dreams and imagination, you're going to see if you planted the right seed when the moon transits into your 6th house. Actually, yeah, your 6th house when it comes to your routine, something that you're trying to work on. Planting good seeds. Actually, what am I talking about? I mean your 5th house, your creativity. And last but not least, when you have the moon and Cancer in the 12th house. So Cancer wants you to take care of your dreams, take care of your imagination. Of course, do things behind closed doors, solitude and peace. Cancer wants you to care about your peace. Cancer wants you to care about your imagination. Cancer wants you to care about your idealism. Cancer wants you to care about your focus on these things. Cancer wants you to basically get situated in these areas. And of course, burn through some shit. Use your imagination, use your idealism, and of course, aim it. And of course, you're gonna have the gift to do this too. So aim this gift and express it, push it out there. And of course, I want you to do this in solitude, behind the scenes, which means everybody ain't gotta know. And you'll figure out if you planting the right seeds when the moon transits in your 6th house when it comes to your routine, things that you're working on. Now, for all the zodiac signs, that's going to be basically going to this moon and Cancer influences. See, Aries, you need to learn how to be direct when it comes to caring, nurturing, of course, but not putting yourself into a situation of being too out there and be kind of too direct or too strong. Also, the water in this position right here, Aries falls here, so it's kind of like sleep. So that means it's not going to go to the extremes in this area unless you get woken up out of your passion to basically go after something. But also, you're going to be learning how to care too, but also you're going to be going through some trauma. Tauruses, you're going to have opportunities to get stable and practical and change the way how you love, nurture, and care on the totality. Or you're going to experience some change, but it's going to be some extreme love in your perspective. See, Geminis, you're going to be seeing the other side of caring about communicating, and of course, using your sense, using your emotions. Cancers in general, you guys are going to have the spotlight in the moonlight to shine. Also, Leos, you guys are going to be basically making changes when it comes to having a compassion about your heart and how you basically dealing with your emotional side and not using too much ego. Virgos, you're going to have opportunities to care about your routine, care about how you do things on a practical level, or interact intellectually. Libras, you guys are going to be learning how to get more emotional when it comes to caring and relating. Scorpios, you guys are going to have a whole lot of gifts to transform or experience extreme sensitivities. Sagittarius, you guys are going to have extreme misunderstandings when it comes to experiences or from past relatabilities. Capricorns, you guys are going to be dealing with some opposites when it comes to transformation, caring about these things. And of course, those spectrums on the totalities. Aquarius, you guys are going to be basically dealing with misunderstandings when it comes to how you're dealing with caring about associates and of course caring about individuals on the totalities. Pisces, you're going to have the gift to get into your dreams, imagination, of course, care, be sensitive to the world.